Today we are going to talk a little bit, I'm going to talk a little bit about how to use your tongue when you play the flute. We use our tongue all the time in flute playing and in every wind instrument. When we say the letter T, that is basically what you're going to do in order to play flute. But before you do that, I want you to get some rice if you have any. If you don't, you can use a seed or you can just pretend. But the way our air on flute play, the way it works when we play is that after you say the letter T, you don't stop blowing air, right? You have to keep blowing air. And so it's a lot like spitting a grain of rice off your tongue. So if I were to spit a grain of rice, I take a breath and I kind of keep blowing, right? Instinctively, I don't just stop blowing right away. At least that's how I do it. So I want you to try this, because the nice thing about this is that everything that I'm doing here with my lip muscles and mouth muscles is pretty much like what I'm going to do on the flute all the time, even as a professional. I used to do this exercise even when I was in college studying music, because it just helps to form things and kind of remind you what it's like. Sometimes the rice will really sail forward, that you know you've got it just perfectly in the right spot on your tongue when you do that. But it's really a 3-step process. You inhale, and then I'm pushing the air out already before I ever release my tongue. This is what we do in real life when we say the word tea. We just don't think about it because we know how to speak so well. It's just second nature. Tea. But if I do it in slow motion, I love drinking tea, by the way. Little trivia fact about me. So tea, you can feel there's a little pressure that's built up. And then you're gonna do the same type of thing on your flute, on your head joint. See how the muscles here, it's the same as when I'm spitting rice. You can look in a mirror for yourself when you're doing this. You could spit rice in a mirror. And again, you can experiment with different kinds of what we call an attack or an articulation. So when we're using a tongue, that's called an articulation. This word is used for speech too. But articulation, I didn't tongue the top note at all. You could hear I just kind of gently went up and gently came down. But if I want to articulate each note, so I encourage you still now, in your first weeks of playing, to experiment with your articulation and to practice it on a head joint. For the first week or so, you probably don't need the body at all. And the more you practice each day and the more consistent you are with practicing every day, the quicker you're going to get it, but also the quicker you're going to remember it. So if you practice 3 days and you get it, and then you take 3 days off, and then you might not be able to find the flute sound again. And you're like, wait a minute, I know I could do this. Why can't I make a sound today? So try your best not to take any days off especially in the beginning, but some music teachers say never. But that's how you do it. It's a lot like when I spit the rice. I'm not squeezing. I'm not trying to make little, I'm not trying to make like a pucker kiss face. That's not going to work. You want kind of a very natural, as if you were just blowing air out, and you're trying to resist the air just a little bit. My lips are fairly loose, actually. Right? You can see I'm not tightening up. I'm not trying to do this. Any lip size will work. It does not matter. If you have braces, it works. If you don't, it works. If you have straight teeth, crooked teeth, gaps in your teeth, it doesn't matter. Any lip size. Some people have very thin lips. You can see I have much fuller, thicker lips. It doesn't matter. You'll find professional flute players with every size and shape of tongue and lip and teeth and everything. So don't feel like it's your lips or teeth or anything like that. It's just, you've got to experiment a little bit more. So have fun with this. Again, this is called articulation. We did it by first spitting rice. You can spit 20 grains of rice every day for the first several months of your flute playing. And if you do, I bet you will be one of the better flute players in your beginning flute class. Mark my words and let me know if I'm correct or not. So again, just place the rice on the tongue here. So have fun.